I'm here to give you reading advice about books that will get you to read, I guess. Again, start reading. I don't know, maybe you love reading. You don't know if you love reading, you want to get into reading, whatever. I'm here to give you advice. And some people might say, I'm not a good person to do this because I haven't read all the books in the world. I feel like that makes me the right prospect. Because I was a late bloomer. I didn't stop reading when I was 5 and actually had to build myself up into reading. Because I was one of those kids that rejected reading for fun up until I was 14. Yes, I was one of them. But now I love reading. Am I actually making this video because I want to talk about books I really, really love? Kind of. For those of you who want to get into reading but just cannot seem to find a motivation to, I would suggest finding something that already interests you. I know for me the size of books was really a setback because everything just seemed way too long and way too boring. Because I wasn't looking in the right place. Read something that interests you. It may seem really straightforward, but some people really miss a step and skip over it and just try to jump into whatever thing is big at the moment. And that is not going to make this any easier for you. You know, you have a 50-50% chance to getting a book you actually like or to getting the worst piece of literature you have ever held in your hands. There's no way of saying which one it's going to be. So the main tip is think of something that already interests you. You have a hyperfixation, you have an interest, go with that. You like murder mysteries, you like mythologies, legends, I don't know, superheroes. I'm sure there's books about toothpaste and socks too, if that's what you're into. There are books about everything because however weird you think you are, there's someone weirder who took it a step further and wrote it into a book and published it. It's the truth. It's the life we're living here. So search up whatever you like. But here's the long-awaited recommendation of me because we all love me. And of course what I read is very good. So, getting into the point, this is the book that got me into reading, and I like the first ever book I read and enjoyed reading, and it's Loki Where Mischief Lies. And not getting into my past obsessions, but I enjoyed reading it because of them. I was a big Marvel fan, I was a big Loki fan, and I'm still a big Marvel fan. And we're fanning for Loki, it's never done. But the moral of the story is choose something you like. It was for me a very easy read. The words are quite big spaced, so you know it's quite easy to read. So if you enjoy Marvel and like superheroes, it's a good book to buy. I also know there's a Gamora Nebula book in like the same kind of style written. But if you enjoy superheroes, comics are also a good place to start. And again, ignore the people that are like, comics are not books. There's words between pages. Is that not what a book is? Okay, so if you know me, you know I never stop talking about these books or the writer, and that is my love, The Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Ignore the tabs, this was from my previous YouTube video, go check that out. These books are amazing. I would recommend any book Holly Jackson has written because that woman knows how to write. It's a very easy murder mystery book. It's easy to read. Again, the words are quite fast-paced. I hate my fingers when I'm holding a book, and it's very interesting. And the thing is about The Girl's Guide to Murder is that in the first two books, in the last one there's not. In the first two books, you get constant, it's not just reading a book, but you get like logs of interviews and like evidences that you see and you get with, and you really work through it with Bip, who's the main character in the book. I read these books in 2 weeks and I finished them in 2 weeks during school, which says a lot because I'm a quite slow reader. The last one is my favorite, so you're gonna get through the first two, but I'm saying that like that's a hard thing to do, but it's not. It's easy to get through the first two. This is top tier. I love it. Holly, my love. My absolute love. Getting into the next topic, and it is mythologies or legends. I know I'm quite into Arthurian legends too, so I like reading that. But take Greek legends and mythologies as an example. You can always read the actual legend that interests you, like the Odyssey or Troy, but maybe starting with something lighter is a bit more fun. And then when I say this, it's not going to come as a surprise when I introduce to you the Percy Jackson books. They're easy to read. That's not a surprise. They are, I'm quite sure, categorized as children's books. But who cares? Children's books are fun to read. We all love them. Again, letters are quite big. and the books are written in a way where the story really moves forward, like constantly, so you're not really getting bored at any point. Well, because they were written for kids. Children's books are fun and they are really easy to escape into because they're written for that purpose. And because of that, they're really captivating and they quite literally hold your attention in a way that you don't want to put them down. So, books, read them. I don't care what age they were written for. You shouldn't care what age you were written for. What you should care about is if you enjoy it or not. That's the only thing about reading that is important. Now, for my lovey-dovey rom-com lovers, I am going to suggest the Bridgerton series. I read the first 4. I haven't read past this. Not yet. But I'm going to because I quite enjoy reading them. And you may have seen the series, and I'm going to tell you the books are so much better. I read the books after seeing the first 2 seasons of this show. I have not yet watched the 3rd one, but I'm planning on. But I'm telling you, the books tell quite a different story and you get more in depth with the characters. And definitely the second one, I don't know, I can't speak about the 3rd one, but the second book, to me, it felt like a whole completely different story. So even if you've seen the show, you can still read them. For me, what made reading these really easy is because they switch between 2 POVs, and they edge the first one at least the 300-page mark, which is a good thing in a series, because then you're not immediately hit with a 600-page book. These are, to me at least, the types of books that I could read in a day without like really feeling pressured into doing this, because they're just written in a way that makes it easy to do so. So, rom-coms, Bridgerton. I can't sit here and recommend my whole bookcase because that would take an eternity. But to wrap this thing up, I do want to say one more thing, and that is to... What am I saying? And that is to try not to be influenced by book recommendations online, and as a fact, stay off of BookTok as a whole, because you will not know if you'll end up on a weird side of the good side. When I'm saying this, I'm not saying to not take any book recommendations at all, because what am I doing here then? And how the fuck would you know what to read if you don't take any recommendations? I'm saying know what you're getting into. I know I still have books on my shelves that I have not read and will not read, because when I bought them, they were really popular and I bought them purely for that fact. I just don't want you to make the same mistake, because those were $15 wasted down the fucking drain. So what I'm saying is, don't buy something because it looks like everybody's reading it. Buy it because it looks like you would read it. Right? Common sense. Common sense.